Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your life.
Great morning. Somebody, hello, hello, somebody. It's that damn dawn like the break of day. And you know what today is. It's talk to me, talk to me, talk to me Tuesday. Now, I know I wasn't sure. I said, am I going to pull up? I know what I was talking about, but I don't know. I think I'm getting addicted. Sitting up here doing this good thing. Because we living our lives on purpose and for a purpose, right? We understand that gratitude is everything because the more grateful we are, the more things we have to be grateful for. So I must ask you, what are you grateful for? Being grateful has taught me to take my time more, to be more patient with myself, to allow myself more grace. And grace is space, essentially. Room to be, to roam, to figure yourself out. You know, that's what it's about. So we're going to talk about some things. I guess I need to see who up on here because you know what I say. Pull up on me. So before we get this good thing, not before, while we getting this good thing started, let's see who up in the house. Who? Candace in the house. Candace, watch your mouth. Hey, ho. Hey, Miss Mayan. Hey, Chuck. Whoop, there it is. Chuck, we going to Starbucks. Huh? So, family, Chuck had tuned in to the Unchaining Your Legacy event that I hosted for Juneteenth, brought to us by our family member, Miss Wanda Honore, with her organization or company, rather, Urban Financial Literacy. And so we had the Freedom Wheel in honor of Juneteenth, and some folks who just happened to be on the live or on the Zoom meeting for our discussion. We spun the wheel, and Chuck was a winner. And Chuck was like, Dawn, I gotta go. But Dawn, can you grab it for me? And then it was like, okay, let's link up for some tea or something. I said, all right, Chuck. Whoop, there it is. So I'm gonna follow up with Miss Wanda, if you haven't already, to ensure that you are going to get your Starbucks reward, right? And also, anybody out there, if your father, happy belated Father's Day. I must be honest. Father's Day for me has been, I'm not saying tricky, but not something I've always recognized, only being as I've shared with you. My father transitioned when I was 3 months. So it wasn't made a moment about Father's Day. And when I say that, I didn't have somebody to physically celebrate. But I do recognize a lot of the fathers out there that's holding it down. Let us know that we see you. Yes, we do. I got some updates. I was out at Leimert Park yesterday. Who was out there? Were you? In fact, while we doing this roll call, did y'all throw up where y'all viewing from? I mean, what's up? We need some interaction. Where are you guys pulling up on me from? Throw the city down or throw it up. Pull up. I'm going to give you a moment. Because when you see it on the screen, that's when I do. And also, I want to play some voicemails. I think I want to offer that segment. Like just playing some of the heartfelt messages that you all send to me. And the voicemail, I think I love that. And I think I know I love it. It made me feel real good. I'm going through some nothing. I'm just sitting here closing out these windows. I have a few windows open. Let's see what we have. And nothing can turn me around. Uh-oh. Hello, somebody? Somebody, hello? Are y'all still tuning? Are y'all can see me, right? I'm trying. I think my There we go. There we go. There. Hello, somebody. So while y'all getting it together, can I play some voicemails? Okay, so listen, I have to make sure that Miss Molly Bell knows the time. But let me go to some voicemail messages while y'all get yourself, and maybe we can get some inspired and get some conversation. Okay, hey, Miss Mine in Norwalk. How far is Norwalk from LA? So let's go to some voicemails real quick. This is from Miss Molly Bell. Check this out.
Okay, hello, Don. God bless you. It's Talk to Me Tuesday. This is the second time I've called. Maybe I'm not doing it right, but anyway, I did try to call in. This is Molly Bell calling straight out of Compton. Prayer warriors, keep fasting and praying, because the struggle continues always. To God be the glory. Bye-bye, Molly Bell.
All right, here's another one. This is from Brother Proverb.
Hey, sis, I didn't want nothing. I just wanted to wish you a great day, and hopefully you're having a great show. When you hear this, just think of great things that are coming your way, and you're an inspiration to so many. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep being that light. And just wanted to tell you I love you, appreciate you, and the stars are the limit. No, well, not the stars are the limit. The sky's the limit, but there's no limit in the sky. All right.
I heard that. So I gotta know, are we living our lives on purpose and for a purpose? I'm just wondering. I need somebody to talk to me up in here. 323-285-1381. It's Talk to Me Tuesday. Hey, Miss Stella. Oh, I was just talking to you about Miss Leslie. Talking to Miss Leslie about you. Oh my gosh, that wine that you had gifted me with was delicious. The fruity medley, and then it was like a sparkle moment. I truly enjoyed that. I truly did. So thank you for that. Ms. Mayan says Norwalk is 15 minutes away. Oh, that's not far at all. I wasn't sure if that was in the Inland Empire or just really far away. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Did you celebrate Juneteenth? What happened? What did you do? There were several events going on. I know some folks that went down to Long Beach. And who was that? Kelly Price. I should have told you I wasn't small enough. Did I mess up the words? But you did me wrong. Or something. You know what? Now I can't stop thinking. Where Kaya at? Every time I want to give out or put out a song, I'm just thinking about Kaya. She was like, Dawn, you break out a song any minute. Leslie was saying that same thing yesterday. In fact, she called me back to check up on me because I went down to Lamar Park yesterday and they had to end the show early. So I'm at a friend of a friend's booth near the stage, and I just got a cocktail. Then I had a listener, Marlon the Aries. He came up to me. Mind you, I'm stuffing my face. So actually, this was right before we got our drink. I'm stuffing my face with some chicken. And next thing I know, somebody says, Dante. So I look over like, who's that? And it was Marlon the Aries. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but he follows a lot on Instagram. So I told him I was on Facebook Live. So hopefully he tunes in. I gave him the number to call. But nevertheless, he was just saying how much he has enjoyed the FM dial and what we were doing on there. He also was talking about how the inspiration and making room for people who necessarily didn't have a voice. And I'm going to say that was right on time. Now I'm about to segue because I was about to tell you everything that happened on with Juneteenth. But the more important thing is that he talked about how he was like, Dawn, your transparency and how you showed up. And it was like you were one of us. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, like, of course, like, that's what it's all about. But then when I think about it further in hindsight, we have to lean in because vulnerability is our source of power. I think oftentimes we get so caught up in hiding and behind shame because of somebody else and what they're supposed to do for us, not realizing that our power and our strength comes with authentically being who we are, because that gives us the ability to connect. And then I'm just thinking back, people say, hey, Dawn, how you keep going? How do you do the things that you do with just staying optimistic? And I say, I just keep pressing. It is a fight because what they say, a hill ain't nothing to a stepper. So we got to walk it out. And we walk it out by taking one step at a time. We walk it out by feeling our way through the dark. We walk it out by realizing you can't fail if you don't quit. But then what you got to realize, how bad do you want what it is that you want? Did I ever tell you the story about the young man that wanted to learn how to be successful? Throw some hands up in some comments. I mean, I'm going to tell the story anyway. I feel it on my spirit, but I was just wondering if I told you about the young man that went to go meet the older gentleman at the beach because he told him that if he met him there, he would teach him how to be successful. And whether it's success, I think it applies to anything that you truly want in your life, whether that's joy, whether that's happiness, whatever it is to get you out of the situation so that you can live your life for your dreams. Because what do I always say? We're here for a good time, not a long time. So how are we making it count? How are we giving ourselves space? How are we giving ourselves grace? How are we creating a foundation so that we can be living our lives exceedingly and abundantly, far more than what we could ever imagine? Okay, so let me tell you about this young man, because this is what it applies to me. Because I all the time, the times that we want to stop and we want to give up and we don't want to keep going, this young man came across this guru who said, hey, I'm going to teach you all the things that it's going to require to be successful. What I need you to do, let's just say the location was out in Venice Beach. Meet me at Venice Beach at 6 a.m. He said, once you meet me there, I'll teach you whatever you need to know when it comes down to being successful. So like anybody, if somebody said they were giving you an opportunity of your life, hence God, hence purpose, what you going to do about it? Are you going to show up for yourself? And at what extent are you going to go after it? So here's the young man. So the young man said, okay, easy peasy. He thinking in his head, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to pull up to see what this man has to teach me. No different from God to say, hey, if you show up in your authentic self, if you show up by focusing to live your life on purpose and for a purpose, I'm here to give you exceedingly and beyond, far more than what you could ever imagine. So then it makes me think about, what are we imagining? How big are we dreaming, especially within ourselves? So the young man comes up, and I mean, he's in his professional attire. He comes suited and booted because he says, hey, I got somebody that's willing to teach me success. So he gets there, and this gentleman, he's in the water, when it starts to up level. And he's doing like his yoga pose, all taking time. So like anybody, we know patience is a virtue. The young man gives him a moment and says, okay, I'm going to stand here, and when he's ready, we'll teach it. So the young man waits for a minute, and the guy didn't do anything. So he kind of does his thing like we would all do, lean in. He leans in for a second. The guy says, I'll be with you in a second. Okay, he's getting impatient. So now the young man has ruffled his suit. He's adjusting himself, and he's saying, what's going on? Excuse me, sir. You said if I came out here that you teach me everything that I need to do in order to become successful. He said, I will. The young man kind of looked around like, okay, well, what's up? Like, what we about to do? Because I just came out here at 6 a.m. by the beach, and I'm suited and booted ready, and you out here stretching. He didn't say that. Of course, these are the thoughts that are going through his head. So immediately, the older gentleman said, come out here in the water. Nah, this brother's like, nah, wait a minute. You tell me to get here early. You got me waiting. Now, after I put on my nice suit because I want to dress to impress, I want to show up. You telling me to step out to the water? So, of course, this young man is on a slight frustration right now. So he goes out further into the water. You got to suck it up. Because if somebody is willing to give you the life of your dreams, or if you are in a position to create the life of your dreams, what are you willing to do for it? I mean, it's just a suit. You can always get another suit. But you can never unlearn something. And once you acquire valuable information, What are you willing to do with it? Okay, so he's like, okay, I'm going to get wet. So he's like, all right, sir, you said to come out here. I came out in the water and you said that you were going to teach me how to be successful. So immediately, the older gentleman took the young man and doused him under the water. He said, before the young man almost lost his SHITS because he said, hold up, wait a minute. Did you just dunk me in some water like that? Not really, but this is what he's thinking. And we can read the expression that's on his face. So before he could really get his words out, and right when he came to breath, the older man took him and dunked him up again. And this time, the young man started to do a little bit of a jolt, and he was about to almost get bucked. Nuck if you buck, say what? And he's looking really perplexed like, why are you trying to kill me? Then as soon as he got his breath, soon as he got his mind, the older man held him down, and this time he held him back. Or down underwater a little longer than a second. So he fights. And then he jumps up and gasps. And he said, well, that's the key to success. Now you know all that it takes in order to be successful. Y'all know where I'm going with this story? You got to want your dream or whatever it is that you believe in as bad as you want to breathe. And it sounds more simple than not. And what I mean by that, when you talk about breath, you can try to hold your breath for however long you want to, but there will become a point that your body is going to fight. You know that quote, they say, it ain't about the size of the dog in the fight, it's about the size of the fight in the dog. How much are you willing to fight for your dreams or for the life that you want, for the cause that you want, for the body that you want, for the relationship that you want? You got to want your dreams as bad as you want to breathe. And what I mean by that, see, this young man is going to this older man to say, hey, how can I be successful? He douses him under the water so much so that his body reacts. How are you reacting? Or what's stimulating you to respond to the life you want, to the dreams you want, to the love you want, for the circumstances that you want? I'm just asking you a question. I don't feel half the time that we are willing to put in the work and the sacrifice for the life that we say that we want. So then the question becomes, what do you want? The pressure becomes for you to make the decision to live your life on purpose and for a purpose. And you know what I always say, that your location is not your destination. So don't get caught up on what you see to make you forget what God said. It came to you, didn't it? I'm just saying. God isn't quick to tease to take away. No, that ain't how it goes. And I just look back at this young man who was going to this water and this gentleman that's trying to throw him under, to the point that your body is going to react, the point that your physical body is going to be the resistant. How bad are you willing to fight for your dreams? And I say that again when somebody says, Dawn, well, how do you stay motivated? And it's like, it's at a point that my body is reacting. Full transparency, last week was a bit challenging. Of just staying inspired, not overthinking, but you got to surround yourself with the right people. I always say you got to teach or treat certain people like you got an all white outfit on. Everybody can't get too close. And that's only because you have to treat yourself with care. You can't let everything get on you, let alone everything get next to you. Doesn't mean that you can't put yourself in different environments. But what you realize is that when you're maneuvering in these environments, gets on top of you. Are you checking what I'm saying? Just throwing hands up if you understand. If you can never relate, it's just something to think about. Who are you letting get close to you? How close are you allowing them to get close to you? We here for a good time, not a long time. So we have to make it count. And here's the thing, we're all human. So that whole idea of grace, you fall down 7 times, you get up 8. Because if you can look up, you can get up. And why you can't fail if you don't quit. Holla if you hear me. Hootie hoo, hootie hoo. So even in my moment of last week, and I'm like, oh gosh, how is this going to work? Am I not feeling as motivated? If I'm not feeling inspired, it's moments like when I get a Marlin, the Aries that pulls up on me and say, Dawn, I appreciate you. Dawn, you spoke life into me. Dawn, thank you so much for being you. Yes, that's what it's all about. Your vulnerability is your greatest source of power. How have you shown up with your vulnerability lately? How have you shown up for yourself? Can you call me? 323-285-1381. It's Talk to Me Tuesday. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you got going on. I want to hear what you're grateful for. Because life be lifing. And you have to choose to happen to life, or life will happen to you. And if we're here for a good time, not a long time, I must ask you again, how are you making it count? Because the fact of the matter is, we gonna die. You know that, right? What kind of word do you have for somebody else for what you going through? I sit on here every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm very transparent about the life that I've lived, the life that I'm living, and where I plan to go. And a lot of you have gotten a chance to experience me, to know me. Many of you say, oh my gosh, I feel like I've known you forever by the time on the FM dial, because I decided to open myself up to you. So I want to hear from you. What's your story? What are you about? What's going on in the community that we need to discuss? How can we better show up for ourselves and let alone show up for each other? 323-285-1381. I just got to make sure that we living our lives on purpose. I got to make sure that we going after something. But they say the greater the vision, the greater the reward. Don't let what you see make you forget what God said. So your vision is not all the way what you can physically see, but whatever you feel is in your heart. And when we talk about how to stay up, how to get up, how to look up, how to keep going, you got to rely on that vision. What's your vision looking like? What's your life looking like? Better yet, what's your light looking like? I'm about to call Brother Proverb. Let's see if you pick up. I guess he must be working today.
Please leave your message for.
I missed him last time. So that voicemail that I played earlier on, that was Brother Proverb calling from last week. But unfortunately, we were unable to answer because we had Jay Solin. Whew, that was a moment. Now, you know who else? Now, okay, so Thursday, we had it was a moment. Whatever we call it was a moment going on. But if you looked on the page, I went back live that evening. And I hit a whole other crowd, people. And Mr. Mike, let me see if Mike is going to answer. Mike, if I remember, he was calling all the time on the FM dial, and he was talking about Manual Arts High School and how we got to get people back in the trade. Let's see if we can get him to pull up. And I'm only calling this early because, there's a time. We was on the FM dial this early, so folks is calling in, so.
Hello, Don. How you doing there?
Great morning, Mike. I was just talking about you with the family.
Is that right? Oh,
yeah.
boy.
You're live right now on Vitamin D Live, so everybody tuning in on Facebook can hear you.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. I've been thinking about you too, boy. I tell you, boy, I really miss you here in LA, boy, because you were really in touch with the community. I mean, the real community. And I just let me have a seat here. Yeah. So what are we talking about this morning now?
Well, we were open up with a Talk to Me Tuesday. And so I always open up the phone lines for people to talk about what they're grateful for, ways that they can keep on pushing on. And then furthermore, just about what keeps you from pushing on or continue to push on. And I always say it's whatever you want to talk about. So I got to ask you, you haven't gotten on Facebook yet. So I'm just calling you straight out, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
We got to get the folks so they know to tune in.
Well, I was thinking about that. Have you thought about being on YouTube where you could have your show on YouTube?
I'm going to check and see if there are any stipulations about going live on YouTube. But you know what? We did it before, so I don't know why why we couldn't do it again. So family that are tuned on to Facebook Live, you guys know how to get to YouTube, right? So perhaps that we can just blast to that channel on Thursday. So if I'm on YouTube, you're able to visually see it better?
Yeah, I could see it better, but I don't know. I know we do it at the church, but the churches we have like a Zoom meeting, and it's like it's on Zoom, YouTube also, and then you could view it later if you miss something. Say, but I don't know how that would work. I might talk to my son about that, but I don't know. I'll figure out how to get on Facebook too. I did look on my phone. I do have a Facebook account, but I just got to get my codes and everything together, so I can join you.
Yeah, and you
know,
what you made mention about the church, and a lot of people asking. I want to throw it out there. I'd love if I can speak at the church and come say hi to everybody, and maybe have something later on in the evening, and we could just talk about a discussion on anything. I don't know where your church is at, and if the facility, provides that kind of space.
I don't know. We're at Ward EME Church. We're at Ward EME Church, and it's a great church. But the church is under attack now.
What
by
you mean?
So many. Well, a lot of people not going to church. A lot of people trying to talk about the church. Church not doing nothing in the community. All this type of stuff. But the church is struggling right now. A lot of people, a lot of the seniors are passing away, and the kids aren't coming to church like they used to. COVID didn't help at all, But the church has allowed us to make it this far in the society. Without the church, we went the way of the Indians. I mean, the church is where blacks, we did everything with the church. We went to church to get jobs. We went to church to meet people. We went to church to stay sane. I mean, people out here are really just going crazy. Like I'm a vet, so sometimes we have like psychological meetings with people, and I was in a psychological meeting, and the one that was running, he was asking everybody how many people do they know that they can contact, if they need to talk to somebody. And most of the people were saying none or one or two. And I said, I have about 10 people I can call at any time and talk to them. My church members, they talk. If I got a problem, I could talk to them. If they got a problem, we can talk it out. And, that keeps us sane. Because really, as you think about it, if you're a black man in the United States, you got a psychological problem. You've been under so much pressure. I mean, you're talking about being, you're talking about psychological problem. We got problems now. You know, you might not admit, but you got some problems.
But folks
you know.
ain't trying to talk about it, Mike.
Well, that's true too. But you know, they think that if you talk about psychological problems, they think you crazy or something. But we all got a little cray in us.
Okay.
So,
My mama used to say, I don't know karate, but I know crazy. They just remind me. My mama.
It don't take long. It don't take much to twang our twanger, boy. Sometimes I hate to admit it. Sometimes people get on my nerve, and I go off on them. Sometimes,
Right,
so I mean, you know, I try to be as cool as possible and understanding, you know, what's going on out here. But I mean, you know, it's a lot going on, and you know, I just have a lot of hope. I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel. We gonna make it through this thing.
My thing is, do you feel as though the church is open enough for folks? And you know, I think before, like, there wasn't room to question or to think, because there's a doctrinal way that you must be, and who you cannot be. Do you feel as though the church has played a role in pushing a lot of people away?
I believe some churches have, but I mean, the churches out here now are starting to open up, and they're coming. They're being realistic about what's going on. And you know, one thing you have to step back and think. You know, the church are the people. Now, if the people allow this, I mean, it's going to happen. But the church, people can run the church. I mean, the church, the lay in the church runs the church if they get organized and operate. They can determine how the church is going to be run and what is allowed in the church. You know, there's so many ways in interpreting the Bible. It's a shame. You know.
How do you feel about the whole idea people think the Bible was created to control? And how, you know, because a lot of people, I don't know about you, my first introduction and the Bible that I have in my home is a King James Version, who of course is owned by Queen Elizabeth. And hey, we know what's happening with Meghan Markle. We know historically what and how religion has been placed on us as African peoples. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are man wrote the Bible. I mean, some people use the Bible for control. That was one of the main reasons they introduced the Bible to the slaves for control. But you know, I think a lot of things they introduced us, but we turned it around and made it work for us. I mean, there's so many ways to interpret the Bible. You know, I mean, the meek should inherit the earth. I mean, you know. And we are definitely unique. So I mean, I'm not going to be professed that I know everything in the Bible, but I mean, a lot of things in the Bible I go along with, and some of them I don't go along with. You know, I mean, you know, I'm not going to follow a Jim Jones. I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid now. You know, so you know, you have to be sensible. I mean, we all got sense, but I mean, you know, the church. I try to go to church. I go to church every Sunday. I'm in the church because I mean it's like I need that spiritual lifting, and it helps me make it through the day. We have an excellent pastor over at Ward, and you know, and the message is great. You know, sometimes you need that spiritual feast that he provides. You
That's
know,
right.
Just to make it. You know, because it's tough out here sometimes mentally. You know. You hear about young people getting shot over nothing, you know, and people going crazy, and like we were just remembering the 9 people that were killed at Mother Belfour, you know, by Dillard. You know, that's something we're gonna never forget when he came into the Bible study and killed all
the churchgoers,
the people in the churchgoers. Yeah, you know. And he, you know, and then we forgave him, but he wrote he's proud of what he did. So you know,
I'm just wondering if there's a new way of experiencing, because you know when we think about the gospel is nothing more than the truth, and we know the truth by the way that it feels, and it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be confined in 4 walls. And
Yeah,
you know,
that's
when we think
true.
of the word of God, it's a living word. So how is this living word evolving but still maintaining the message? And I think that's what I feel like, you know, us as a people, we can do better with our vision as far as what we have when we talk about community, when we talk about what it means as far as church and how two and more people are coming together.
Right. For two or more people, you have church. You know, you can have church anywhere. That's true. You don't really need four walls, but I mean, you know, the thing about church, you want to try to go to, you know, as a Christian, you're trying to spread Christianity throughout the world, and you want to introduce it to other people and help people with it. You know, sometimes just, you know, I've been in a situation where people are getting ready to go off, and I just, you know, talk to them, calm down. You know, it's not that
But
serious.
Mr. Mike, you
You
got that calm voice that's so sweet. And I mean, what I mean, it's peaceful. So if anybody tries to yell, it wouldn't even make sense. I really think that's a natural gift of yours.
Well, I think it just comes from the church. The church is keeping me peaceful. I mean, sometimes I get crazy too.
For
I want to
real?
get crazy, but you
Oh
know.
my God. Thank you so much for making room for that. You know, that's something that I carry with me because I'm like, you know, I'm coming off inspirational and making sure I'm speaking life over people, but I don't want to create a narrative that that's all I am. So if there is anything that pops up that I went off, it's not like I was contradictory who I am because like anything, there's a yin and a yang.
You're right. You know, I'm ex-marine, and you know, I'm not the one that bought the punk in the town. I ain't gonna go for every little thing now. You know.
Hey.
And you know,
Good
sometimes I
catching.
don't really agree about turning that other cheek. Sometimes, you know,
We got to just snatch somebody up and
if you
shake them
come,
real quick.
you got to bring some. You know, so you know, but no, I you know, like I said, you know, I just think as a people, we're going to have to do better than what we're doing. We're going to have to come together. And coming together in the church is an avenue that we can. You know, I know that you know, you can have church anywhere, but together we can do a lot together. You know,
We go further
we need to
together than
start
we
reading.
go apart.
Absolutely,
It's
you know,
harder
you
to
have
break a
you know,
bundle of sticks versus just one.
right. And you know, my biggest thing is why did we allow them to take the trades and the vocations out of schools? I can't understand it. You know, when you talk to people, they seem like they turn a deaf ear on you. You know, where these kids are not coming out with any kind of trade or vocation, they just fall into the wayside because all of them not going to no college now, you know.
So how can we get it back into the
And
schools?
we got to get organized and start demanding we get them back in school, just like we demand to take the trades out of school. You know, they said that some parents said that they didn't want their kids to learn trades. They just wanted them to go to college and get a college professional job like a lawyer or a doctor or something. You know, it's just my brother told me about this story about he heard that this lawyer called his plumber over to do some work at his house. And when he saw the bill, he said, "Gee whiz, you make more money than I make." And the plumber said, "Yeah, well, I used to be a lawyer."
What?
The
What?
plumber said, "I used to be a lawyer, so I know how much you make." These professional people out here are making over $100,000 a year just starting out. Sometimes you're an electrician and really know what you're doing. In 4 or 5 years, you become proficient at what you're doing. You in the $100,000 bracket. I'm sorry, I
So
don't know
do
if
you
people
find that it's
realize
like
that
not a lot of people of color that's doing the trades?
they're not.
So it's more people.
I was in the most of the teams. A lot of the teams are taking over the job that we used to have in the trades now. In white, like I was in the machine shop. I was a general machinist, CNC specialist. You just don't see them coming in the trade. I mean, you know, and I wasn't the sharpest pencil in the box. I mean, the trades are acquired. You don't learn them overnight. You're not gonna learn them no 2 years. It takes time. I was taking auto mechanics in high school. I was all through school. I took the crafts, different uh, uh, painting, and I work well with my hands. And I was just into everything, any kind of building, I'm into it.
Right,
Any
right,
kind of
right,
project.
right.
And you learn how to use tools, you learn how to be safe with them. And when I came out of high school, that was in 64, 65, 64. They had I was official in automobiles, and I knew how to rebuild an engine, change
Say
transmission, do a
what?
brake job on a car. Right out of high school, in fact, in high school, I bought my teacher's car. I went to Manual Arts. I bought my teacher's car, Mr. Hahn's car, and I paid $25 for it. It was a '51 Ford, and I rebuilt it completely. Put a new engine, new transmission, new brakes. I mean, it was a wreck. I mean, but the body and everything was good. So I just
Okay.
rebuilt everything, and I had me a nice little car back in the day, right out of high school. And then when I came out of high school, Lyndon Dean Johnson, he had a program called the Federal Manpower Development Program, and they came to all the high schools. They would ask people, if you're not planning on going to college, we got this program you can go in. They teach you a craft for 6 months, and then they could put you in that job. Now they had machine shop, they had nursing, they had a bunch of things that they had, different crafts.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the machine shop thing, and they said they paid you a little something, I think it was like $20, $25, something like
Okay.
that,
Gave
which
you some
put you in
change.
some good money. And so right after I did that, the machine shop came easy to me, because once you learn one craft, it's easy to learn another one. Tell
Mm-hmm.
So machine shop came easy to me, so I was in there for 6 months. And then we went to Douglas Aircraft.
Oh, West Rock. Okay.
So they hired in at Douglas Aircraft. Started out at I think our pay then was something like $1.75 an hour. But that was good money in that
I
day.
know. That's when you said that shoe. You used to get a drink, a piece of gum for 10, 15 cents.
Well, gas was 25 cents a gallon.
God, I remember growing up in Detroit. I remember seeing when gas was what, $1 something. You could tell somebody, let me get 5 on my tank real quick and get somewhere. Now you can barely get a gallon.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's what it is. Yeah, And I stayed at Douglas. It was about 2 or 3 months we stayed there, and then they laid everybody off.
Oh, see, and that's the
But
thing, I guess, with the trade.
in
At
the
least you can create a life.
that was that was in aerospace. So the shoot, they laid us off, and shoot. About a week later, got hired on at North American Rockwell.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed there 24 years, and I worked at Air Research. So I worked in aerospace. I had 2 jobs for quite some time too. So I worked in aerospace, worked in the went all the way up to experimental, and then top secret stuff.
And wait, with all these jobs, you were able to purchase your own home, right?
Oh, I purchased my own. I got my first home when I was 22 years old.
God. Now, see, that's what I feel like we got to talk about more.
I had a brand new Stingray a year after I started working. In 65, I bought a brand new Stingray. I graduated in 64. I had a brand new Stingray in 65.
I heard that.
So, and I see what a Stingray is costing you like $60,000 or $70,000 now. I'm saying, boy, I had some serious money back in the day.
Look, Mr. Mike was riding around and getting it. I heard that. Well, I feel like we just got to keep up leveling the conversation when it comes to the trades and why people need to lean in with it and rock with it. But I feel like,
Well,
I think it's also a notion that people would like to create a better life for people. And what I mean by that, they feeling like if you get educated or college educated, that will put you in a job where you don't have to do so much physical labor. And not that anything's wrong with physical labor, but how can we go on with a more softer life? And I guess the ignorance of it all is, and I feel like that's where I appreciate you with shedding a lot of light on, is that it doesn't necessarily mean that just because you have this behind the desk job that you're going to be making more money.
and another thing is when you talk about physical labor, I mean, just because you have a trade or you have a vocation, that doesn't mean that you're going to be doing a whole lot of physical labor. I mean, in the machine shop, I didn't do a whole lot of labor.
Oh, no? That was my
The
ignorant
machine
assumption.
did the work.
Oh.
The machine did the work. I just set the machine up and let it take off and do what it do. That's
So we need to make sure we highlight the possibility. Because what I'm thinking to myself, and I guess I'm like, okay, well, how do we up level it there? Who's programming the machine to do that work? But I think we have to make room for what you said. Not everybody is equipped with that type of thinking or process of working. And that's how I feel as though we make room for other people to still be, flourish versus them not even knowing that trades are a possibility.
And see, and when I came out, I was ready to go into automobiles. After my training with machine shop, I was ready to go into machine shop.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I got into it, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that just because I was in the trades at a young age, it didn't prevent me. I still went to college later on because my jobs were paying for my college education.
Oh, wow.
I went to LACC. I went to Trade Tech, Then still, if you got a job with aerospace or a good company, they'll pay your college for you,
Okay.
So, these kids now, they coming out with $50,000 to $100,000 with student loans. That don't make no sense.
Talk about it. I'm thinking about myself,
you
these
behind,
doggone student loans.
Yeah, they behind the 8 ball, my goodness.
And then on top of that, not even being able to get a job coming straight out and trying to figure out how you're going to pay that out. So then it makes me think like, when we talk about, we just all celebrated Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth or belated Juneteenth, everybody. Are we really free?
Happy Juneteenth and happy belated Father's Day there, all the fathers.
Yes.
But,
are you a father?
Yeah, I'm a father.
Happy belated Father's Day.
And thank you, man. And that student loan is like you talking. That's legalized carpetbagging.
Well, I guess we just got to keep making sure we put it out
there. They put it back in slavery in another way, So you got to go to college. All right, you come out of college for $100,000 with student loans. You're lucky to get a job. You're not thinking about getting married, so there's population control. You're not thinking about getting married until you get your student loan down. Even our president didn't even have his student loan all taken care of until he became president. So
it's an ongoing thing.
That student loan is stay with you a long time. Just because college is not always the way to go. I know you can go to a community college for pretty reasonable, but there's some good jobs, and they saying AI is going to take over a lot of these professional jobs anyway. So you better get yourself prepared when they can't take over your craft or your skills. They can't,
Well, I done seen some of these AI robots up here putting on lashes. They said they opened up a McDonald's that isn't a trade necessarily, but they opened up a McDonald's that was fully robotic. I mean, these AI can now write speeches and dissertations, so it's something to think about. But let's switch it a little bit. What did you do for Juneteenth?
Juneteenth, I just stayed at home and enjoyed myself. I'm not too far from the festival down there, but
at Leimert?
At Leimert, I live right down the street from it. I live in View Park, so it's right down the street there. So,
Oh, did you get a chance to get out
Yeah.
there?
No. The crowd's a little bit too much for.
I
I
was
have I have low vision, so I have a problem being
okay.
around a lot of people.
Okay.
So you know,
Well, I was out there.
but
I want to
glad
say
they
it was an
enjoyed themselves
amazing
because I mean,
experience. I had never, just so of us all, it was just so beautiful. All us black people, some were skating. I saw the family, I saw the kids, and I was just like, wow, it was almost like I was in like a magical
yeah,
place of all this melanin. I was like, we got this right in LA. And I just think to
and
myself about the things that we need. And one, it's like, we all we need, and it's enough.
mm, and it was peaceful down there too. You know, didn't have no problems. I heard that the helicopters flying over later on at night, but
I
but it
know.
seemed like it was peaceful.
And that's the thing. And I'm
But
just wondering too with ourselves. It's like, yo, I could contribute it to a lot of things, thinking about trauma, things that we've experienced. But, people gonna be people. And I don't think it just based on the whole race. But that's the thing.
hmm
During the day, it was amazing. The family was out there. I was just sharing with everyone how a
right,
listener came up, Marlon, and he, said hello. And people were eating. You had the kids. Then right before Jasmine Sullivan came on, I was at the vendor booth that was closer near the stage. People started running. And I thought to
hmm.
myself, I said, I remember when I was in school that was it tornado drills, smoke alarm or smoke drills, we drop down and roll. I never had a drill
hmm
that if you got caught in a mass shooting. And I said to
mm
myself, had
hmm.
the gunman, if there was a gun, because it wasn't verified yet, some people say that vendor tents had fell down and some people got in a fight and people started running and then some others want to report a gunshot. But had there been gunshots fired, I thought to myself, I probably could have got hit only because I'm up here
hmm
standing up running. And it's like, what the method is it that you get to lowest to the ground as possible? I don't even know what you do if you get caught in a
hmm.
shootout.
Well, that venue was, I guess that was the first time, but it was too small for that amount of crowd that they
Yeah.
had. I don't see why they didn't have it at the probably at the Baldwin Hill Shopping Center, probably a better place. So
I
they
think
need a
I
bigger
like it
place
because
for
the
that.
culture and the history of us and what Lamert Park has done for the
Yeah.
community.
hmm
So,
Well, I was listening that they said that it would be nice if we had Juneteenth all the way up to the 4th of July. You know,
come on.
from Juneteenth to the 4th of July, celebrating Juneteenth. You know.
But then when you look at it, like it's like somebody had posted up something about gaslighting. Like the moment we get an opportunity to have Juneteenth as a holiday where people are actually off of work, we get the news that's happening
hmm
down in Texas, how they're getting rid of all the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. How do you feel about that?
All the getting rid of programs.
The
Well,
diversity,
you
equity, and
know.
inclusion to make sure that our schools stay diverse, to ensure that we're teaching critical theory when it comes down to race, teaching about blackness. Because I feel like
Oh
once
yeah,
we strip
yeah.
our education of who we are, that's it.
Well, same thing as Hitler did with when he took over. You know,
Hmm.
that's what they did. Get rid of all the books and stuff. You know, same thing is happening here. We allow it. You know, that's why people need to get out there and vote. You know, me talking about, well, yeah, my vote don't count. You know, you need to organize. You know, the squeaking wheel is the only one going to get the oil. You know, if you want to go for that, go for it. If
Mm-hmm.
they take it out of the schools, we can. That's another one. We can take it. We can bring it to the church. You know, because I'm still learning stuff I didn't even realize. You know,
Should we a forever student?
so I'm still learning Black history. I'm still learning Black history. I didn't. You know, I'm also I work with the Buffalo Soldiers and the reenactment of Buffalo Soldiers.
Oh yeah.
And
For anybody that's unfamiliar, can you share what Buffalo Soldiers are about?
well, the Buffalo Soldiers were in like 1865, about that period. They wanted to form. They formed the Buffalo Soldiers started then, and they the slaves were out there, and they said, you know, if you want to become a soldier, you can. They will give you a gun and a uniform, and you got to pay. And so a lot of blacks didn't have jobs, so
Mm.
they started, working with the soldiers, and we fought in the Indian War. We fought the Mexican War, and we were outstanding in what we did. They don't even now. They don't even give. They weren't giving a lot of soldiers credit for what we were doing. But
Mm.
you know,
Okay. Well, thank you for
but
that tidbit.
mhm.
Well, I guess we gonna I gotta head to start getting out of here.
Okay.
I
So I'm
appreciate
gonna.
you.
So now, are you on? You said on Tuesdays, and what days are you on now on the
I'm on
Facebook?
Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm on Facebook Live. I actually told the family
Tuesday and Thursday,
6:30 to 7:30 that I wasn't going to be
6:30 to
on.
7:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
Soon, my plan is that we are going to be broadcasting not only on Facebook Live, but also we're going to be tuning in for folks to tune in on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and get back to
Mm-hmm.
all the platforms. And then I'm going to figure out a way so that if you are able to tune in via the app. So as of right now,
Okay.
Thursday, I'll be here 6:30 to 7:30 for Tell Me Something Good Thursday.
Well, I'm looking forward to working with you on these things. Are you supposed to be having a town hall meeting coming up soon?
Well, I'm going to have a meet
I
and
thought you had
greet.
mentioned
It's a mixer meet and greet, the August 17th at 5 p.m.
That's
However,
in August. Okay.
I was thinking
Mhm.
about just going somewhere and pulling up and let's just gather around talking, whether it be at a park, somewhere outside. So I was going to put a
Okay.
notice up and just see who want to come. So perhaps we'll talk
That
about
wouldn't be
that
bad,
further on Thursday. Right. And,
Maybe we can meet for breakfast somewhere or something.
mm-hmm. And just have a talk.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But yeah, keep August 17th
So,
down at 5 p.m.
okay.
All right. All
All
right.
right then.
Okay. It was
Okay.
good talking to you.
Talk.
All right.
Take care now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Talk to me Tuesday. Family. Y'all be calling in or what? Like, what's up? Like, where you? Will you be at the Bill Pickett Rodeo next month? Hey, Miss Val, when I was out yesterday, somebody had passed some information about a rodeo and I just dismissed it. So I don't know what that is. Can you put the information down? I mean, why not pull up? I don't even know what's the Bill Pickett Rodeo. Huh, Miss Val? Well, shoot me an email if you're still on. Vitamin D at DAIspeaks.com. Oh, it's the Black Rodeo. I wonder, did I miss this last year? I would like to go. I don't have any information on the tickets. Can you send them to me? Just tag it here. I guess I can Google it as well. But that would be cool. A friend of mine, I don't know if there's more than one group, but there was I thought it was like the all black rodeo. Do they travel around? Well, nevertheless, I don't see why not. Okay. Send me the info, Ms. Val. I would greatly appreciate that. And I've been trying to say housekeeping is trying to get me out of here. I gotta go. We got things to do. I hope that you find something to do with yourself and you learn to love on yourself and you living your life on purpose and for a purpose, because we're here for a good time, not a long time. And if you fall down 7 times, get up 8. Because we know that if you can look up, you can get up. And we know that you can't fail if you don't quit. So what's up? How are we going to choose to live? How are we going to be amazing? How are we going to call forth abundance? What we doing out here right now? Say what? All right, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe to my Vitamin D with Dawn Day podcast. It's available wherever you get your favorite podcast. If you'd like to reach out to me personally outside the show, make sure you send an email, vitamind at DAIspeaks.com. I want to welcome any comments, any feedbacks, anything that you would like me to know, anything we're going to implement. I want to furthermore thank you for being patient with me as we keep going, because they say a heel ain't nothing to a stepper, and we're going to walk it out one step at a time, one layer at a time, one voice at a time, because we having real people with real conversations right now. And I'm just tightening up the bootstraps and making sure we got everything together. But I want to make sure that I'm always staying in contact with you. So thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for pulling up on me. Thank you for reminding me that it's possible. Thank you for reminding me to dream. Thank you for supporting my dream. And more importantly, thank you for being a part of my dream. It means the world to me. All right. So told you about the podcast. Oh, now I got to get out of here. Listen, along with the podcast, you can follow us on all on social media, Vitamin D Dawn Day. And then if you want the original source of vitamin D, baby, that be me, at Dawn DAI Speaks. All right, family, you know I always say, I'm in the business of making dreams come true. And I damn sure ain't going to forget about mine. So until next time, always remember, you are your greatest asset.